G'day friends, welcome to Chase the Weekend, and it's time for another
Techie.
So on today's episode we've got something pretty cool, and if you haven't guessed already, we've got a Renogy 12v 2000 watt inverter on the bench. Super Cheap Auto have reached out to us and asked if we would be interested in reviewing and testing some Renogy product, and we obliged and said heck yeah, we would be down for that. We're not getting paid at all from them to test this, so this is going to be a true blue review for you. Hopefully you'll like this episode. If you do, hit that thumbs up. Also, hopefully we'll earn your subscription today. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you will be able to keep up to date and be the first to know when we release upcoming episodes. All right, we're going to unbox this inverter. I have to be honest though, I already have had a bit of a sneaky peeky, but we'll forget that and we'll open it up right now and we'll have a look. So let's open the box up and have a look what we get inside. So first of all, we will get the manual. Make sure you read that. It is still AC power, so you want to still be careful with that. We've got some stickers, little warranty registration card. We have a mains cable here, like a kettle cord. So I will go through what that's for in a minute, or a few minutes. We have a remote. So that's a remote on-off switch for the inverter. And we've also got a couple of power cables. And then we have the inverter itself. There we go. All right, so on the inverter itself, so we'll start at the back end. We've got the terminals, positive and negative terminals. They've got a cover on them. And it looks like we can squeeze that. Oh yeah, there we go. So we've got the terminals, terminal covers, which is good. We've got a little earthing point. So you run that to your earth. Mounting blocks in the corners. So you can mount your inverter on the wall. Probably not upside down, but probably that way. A couple of mounting blocks there. And we've got two fans. So these fans, so you're gonna have to take into consideration when you're mounting this, that you have adequate space around the fans to allow enough air to get pulled through that inverter. All right, on the other end, so we've got two power outlets, got the switch, on-off switch, and we've got the AC. Now the AC is actually an inlet, AC inlet. So the AC inlet, you say, what do I need that for? Well, this inverter actually has a transfer switch. What that means is that you can use it in a similar fashion to a UPS. What's UPS? Uninterruptible power supply. You can have this sitting in your van or off-grid cabin if you wanted to use it for an off-grid cabin, or under your desk, plugged into mains power. And then what happens is the AC outlets will run off the AC inlet until the power goes off. So if the power goes off, it'll transfer over, and then the AC outlets will run off the batteries. We'll have a look at the transfer time in a minute when we go through the specs. So overall, it's a nice little unit. Let's have a look at this other stuff. So I mentioned remote switch earlier. So that's your remote switch there. So that's basically a remote on-off switch. Uses that little CAN plug there, or RJ45. So you'll be able to put this under a bed or cupboard, or in a cupboard or something like that. You just remember, make sure you follow all local regulations in regards to safety with the electronics and battery locations. That's a big one. So always consult a professional. Anyway, this will be, if say you had it in your front boot of your van and you wanted to put this inside your van, you can turn the inverter on and off remotely. So that's pretty cool. Okay, the DC cables. So we've got two pair of DC cables. They are approximately 500 mil long, and they've got 100 amps written on the lugs, but it looks like it's probably about 25 square mil. So that's about right. So 25 square mil is usually good for about 100 at the most. And I would be running both sets. Now, we'll go through cable sizing in a minute. If I was doing a permanent installation of this, which we will be, I would just be using a single 95 square mil cable, which would be rated for 250 amps-ish. Things to consider would be the inverter capacity rating. Whether it's this inverter or any other inverter, you're going to need to make sure that your cables and your fuses are big enough. For example, 2000 watts is about 165 amps. So you're going to need to make sure that your batteries can output 165 amps. And then the surge is 4,000 watts, which is, double that, so 330 amps. Can your lithium batteries or your AGMs or whatever that you're using output that sort of power to keep this inverter running? So that's a consideration. You may need to buy 2 or 3 batteries to run the inverter to its full potential. All right, let's go through the specs. Now, I am going to cheat a little bit. I've got my laptop here. I can't remember all the specs off the top of my head. So the first spec will be 2000 watts. That's its continuous rating. What's 2000 watts, you say? Well, an air conditioner, say a air conditioner in a van's probably about 800 watts. A water heater will probably be about 1800 watts thereabouts. TV is probably 100 watts. So, you get the idea. Coffee machine and a milk frother. Coffee machine might do 1000 watts while it's heating up. Milk frother is usually a couple hundred watts. Same sort of thing. So toaster, 1800 watts. Kettle can be up to 2.5 kilowatts. So just check your rating on your kettle. So all of that, most things, it'll run most things. Probably not lots of things at the same time. So you will probably still just have to, alternate what you're going to do. It does have a surge rating of 4,000 watts. So 4,000 watts, that will be good for water pumps. So a 500 watt water pump might have a 1,500 to 3,000 watt startup surge when it first turns on. Air conditioners also have a startup when they first turn on. So anything with a motor and stuff like that, they'll have a spike. So that will be good for that. So it's pure sine wave, which what you want for running any sensitive electronics, TVs, monitors, computers, not so much laptops, because laptops have a battery that they run off. 240 volts, 220 to 240 volts, so standard house, 50 hertz, standard Australian house, pure sine wave, as mentioned earlier, good for sensitive electronics. Low voltage shutdown is 10 volts. Some lithium batteries will actually turn off their BMS at 11 volts. So you're just gonna have to check your battery specs and make sure that's gonna work with it. 2 outlets. One thing it doesn't have is a safety switch. So you might need to check your local regulations wherever you live and find out whether or not the inverters that you're installing need to have a safety switch. It's got the UPS function. It's got a high voltage shutdown of 16.3. The DC input, so it's 12 volt nominal. It's got a wide operating range of 11 volts to 16 volts. Now, the transfer speed. So the transfer speed on the specs is 50 milliseconds. That does sound pretty quick, but true UPS is about 5 to 10 milliseconds. So it is actually pretty slow for a true UPS. So I wouldn't be running your network servers with this as a UPS. But, when we do our tests, I'll actually set it up with a TV monitor, and we'll try the transfer speed with the TV, and we'll see if it turns off and turns back on again. Working temperature is 0 degrees to 40 degrees Celsius. One thing to note is that usually, it's not stated here, but usually inverters output rating will derate the hotter it gets. So if this is in the front boot of your caravan and you're in the sun and it's hot in there, the output of this inverter, it's not going to be able to do 2,000 watts. It's probably going to derate down about 1,500 watts at the worst, sort of thing. So keep that in mind. you're going to want to have some ventilation. You got the fans there that will try and keep the unit cool, but if the air inside the compartment is hot, the fans aren't really going to do too much, so keep that in mind. So the dimensions, we've got 442 millimeters by 220 millimeters by 92 millimeters thick, and we've got 4.8 kilos. These retail for just under 400 bucks at Supercheap. 12-month warranty on these units, which is okay. The thing that fills me with confidence with the warranty is that Supercheap is supplying these inverters. You're not having to deal with a manufacturer in some other town, possibly in some other country. Supercheap have a network all around Australia. You're going to be able to take it back to a branch and they're going to look after the warranty for you. So that gives me a bit of confidence with it. I haven't had anything to do with Renogy in the past, so I'm really excited to get this set up and the other gear and then really put it through its paces and see how it goes. Well, there it is, the Renogy 12 volt, 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter. Hope you've liked this episode. If you have, make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you can keep up to date with all our videos. That's enough for me. I'm out of here. Catch you later.